Yo, what's going on, guys? JV here, and today I have some more Cleveland Browns football talk for you. In today's video, we're going to talk about what a win this week against the Pittsburgh Steelers could mean for this Cleveland Browns organization. And if the Browns were to go on and win this week, the first thing I would think about would be we are finally contenders. And I'm not just talking about the just sneaking into the playoffs or hoping to make it to the playoffs down the stretch. I'm talking about 10, 11, maybe even 12 wins when the season is said and done. And I know what you're thinking, like, JV, no way, that can't be possible. We are talking about the Browns, right? Just hear me out, right? So take a look at this. All right, so bang, I popped up a schedule here, and I just want to go over the schedule and kind of maybe, you know, what games we will win, what games we might lose, yada yada. Sometimes I hate being the schedule guy, but this is interesting for the Browns. Things could get really interesting, and let me kind of show you where I'm going with this, right? All right, so you have, you know, week 6 at Pittsburgh. We're going to say the Browns walk into Pittsburgh and win, right? That's why we're making the video. So they leave Pittsburgh. They're at 5-1 heading into Cincy week. I don't think they lose to Cincy. I just think the Browns defensive line is too good against that offensive line. Joe Burrow's in a panic. The Browns have gotten better since week 2, significantly better since week 2. So I think they win the Cincy game too. So then we're talking 6-1 heading into the game against the Raiders. And I'm going to say they lose the Raiders game. I don't want to just say win, win, win. I think they can win the Raiders game. I do, but I also think they can lose the Steelers game. But I'm going to say they lose the Raiders game for the video. And that puts them at 6-2 heading into the week 9 bye. This is where it gets really interesting, right? 6-2. And we're only going to say 6-2 because we think they might lose one of the games between maybe Pittsburgh, Cincy, and Vegas. I figure you look at that the Pittsburgh game, the Cincinnati game, and the Vegas game. I'm predicting the Browns go at least 2-1. I don't see them going 0-3. I don't see them going 1-2. I see them going 2-1 in those 3 games. Just at the, you know, the rate they're going right now. They look like they're doing well. The Vegas game's at home. I don't really care where the Bengals game is. So we'll say 2-1. So you come out of the bye, full another week's rest. Hopefully you're healing up. Game plan should be better. You should be more prepared for your opponent. And you're going to be at home against Houston. I love Deshaun Watson, but that offensive line in Houston is abysmal. And because the way that the Browns front four has been able to impact games, I think they win the game out of the bye against Houston. So then we're talking potentially 7-2. I'll say a loss to Philly, even though I think we can agree they could beat Philly. But I'll say a loss to Philly. Now we're at 7-3. And this is where we get kind of to the home stretch, right? At 7-3, you're heading into Jacksonville. Could be a hostile environment, right, if it's not COVID, but Cleveland Browns football in December, well, late November, early December, we'll call it December. I have a feeling that Jacksonville is going to be maybe 65% Browns fans come that time, but we'll see when it gets there. I see it not being a home field advantage. I think the Browns beat Jacksonville too. That then puts them at potentially 8-3. 8-3. You heard that correctly. All right, so this is where I want to pause, right? 8-3, you're heading into Tennessee, but I just want to take a quick look back, and I know you might be thinking 8-3, maybe that's too biased of a prediction, and I get it, right? Because it's the Browns, and it almost seems too good to be true, and it kind of kills me saying it myself. But let's backstep then. I don't see more than 2 losses from these teams: Cincy, Vegas, Houston, Philly, Jacksonville. I said we lose 2 of those games, but I don't see more than 2. If you can argue more than 2, please put down in the comment section and we'll debate it. But in that stretch of game, again, Cincy, Vegas, Houston, Philly, Jacksonville, I do not see the Browns losing more than 2 of those, which is why I'm saying 8-3. That's if they beat Pittsburgh. So even if they lose to Pittsburgh, we can potentially be seeing 7-4, which is still huge. So minimally, I'm thinking 7-4, and realistically / optimistically thinking, we'll say 8-3. So let's pick it up from there. All right, so they're 8-3. They're going into Tennessee. This is another game where I think it could be, you know, 50-50 with fans, maybe 70-30, you know, in favor of Tennessee. So I'm going to say they lose this game. It's at Tennessee. Tennessee's a really good football team. I think they're one of the best teams in the AFC, respectively so, being in the AFC Championship game last year. So I say they lose that game. They're then at 8-4, and then you have Baltimore on Monday Night Football. This is a huge revenge game for the Browns. This is that game where the rest of the world, people outside of Cleveland, they'll be tuning into this game on prime time. This is a game that is so crucial for the Browns to win. And I hope to God that they're allowing more fans come this time, because I'm definitely going to be at that game. I mean, absolutely. But this game is huge. I'm going to say they lose it until they can beat Baltimore again since that week 2 last year, which was kind of a fluke, and that's a different story. Browns did win the game, and deservedly so, but it wasn't as bad as I thought the score had said. So they lose that game, and then they're sitting at 8-5 with 3 games left, and this is where I think the Browns could potentially win out, but at least go 2-1. I think they win their game at the Giants. I think they win their game at the Jets. And then I think that Pittsburgh game, the last game of the year, is a toss-up, right? A lot could be on the line. There could be some circumstances playing in. But at minimum, in those last 3, I think they go 2-1, which is why I think ultimately the Browns will end up as a 10-6 football team, but could end up as a 11-5 team if they win out those last 3. Now, obviously, guys, this is just being optimistic. This is kind of guessing. I'm not saying there's a right or a wrong answer, but there is the potential for this team to win 11 games, I think, and I think it's pretty realistic. I was realistic enough with a few losses, the at Tennessee, against the Las Vegas Raiders. I had them losing to Baltimore. There's not really too many games I had them win that I think is definitively wrong, or vice versa. So I'm just being optimistic. I'm just kind of guessing, but 10-5 at minimum if they beat Pittsburgh. I think minimum 10-5 if they beat Pittsburgh. Or if they beat Pittsburgh, we could be looking at 11 wins, but who knows, right? Just an exciting year of football. I'm so glad to have nice, entertaining, polished, well put together football, right? No penalties, none of that BS we've seen in the crap. It just seems fluid, sound. Stefanski and that Kubiak scheme has just been terrific for this franchise, the city, the fan base. It's just a little bit of a refreshing feeling, I guess I can say. But man, it's going to be a hell of a year. I appreciate you guys watching the video. If there's anything you'd like to talk about, leave it in the comment section. I'd be down to go over anything. I will answer every comment. I'm going to try to push out more content, guys. I'm currently doing another YouTube channel and streaming over on Twitch. I'll put those links down in the description if you're interested. But until then, guys, have a good day. Enjoy football this week, and do not forget, dogs. Got the mojo.